I always wanted to play The Sims 2 Castaway on other platforms growing up, but sadly I only ever got the Nintendo DS version, which isn't great. In fact, I hated the game. Meanwhile, the PS2 version looked better. Now, I'm finally going to play it thanks to emulation. So let's dive into The Sims 2 Castaway for the PlayStation 2 and see what I missed out on as a kid. To start, you must create at least one sim. I made myself and decided to add some others. Of course, I had to add Charlie to the crew. It wouldn't be a party without the moist man from Florida after all. Next, we made Mudahar. If you're going to go on a boat, you need a black friend. Yeah, that's what I meant.
What's wrong with you?
Finally, I added the balding hobgoblin himself, Mr. Big Dick Energy Asmongold. Sadly though, I didn't see any options for bald or balding, so he gets some hair. Enjoy, Zach, cause you ain't getting any in the real world. Then I added a chick, cause you don't want this to be a sausage fest of a boat ride.
Ha! Gay!
Afterwards, we set off to party at sea with karaoke, beer, and fishing. But then a storm hits and we get shipwrecked, separated from one another. Now, it's time to survive in The Sims 2 Castaway. When you start, you have a pocket knife, a bed mat, toilet paper roll, and that's it. Time to get to gathering anything and everything to make tools and supplies for survival. Getting the spear to fish, crafting a torch to see at night, making an axe to harvest wood, trying plants to see what they are, such as sugarcane, chili peppers, flowers, and cherries. I mean, you gotta work on your alchemy skill like in Skyrim. Befriending some chimps to have them gather stuff for you, in turn you give them bananas, making shelter and calling a place home, eventually unlocking the ability to make a paddle raft to explore the second island. The first island is essentially just a tutorial island, like RuneScape, but it's also a good chunk of the early game as you figure out how each mechanic works. You have all the motives there from The Sims 2, but you unlock them over time as you discover things. To start, it's easy. You just have energy, bladder, and hunger. But over time, you get social, fun, hygiene, and environment. After about an hour, I found my way to the second island. When I arrived at the second island, I gathered some pineapples and chili peppers, but then out of nowhere, new chimps and Charlie appeared. After greeting and catching up with the moist man, I wandered deeper into the jungle. Here I found sugarcane and a radio. So of course, I turned it on and got my groove on alongside Charlie. Next up, I wandered into a cave, found nothing but another loading screen, then more loading screens, and finally, I found Muda and Asmongold, eventually getting them to join my tribe alongside Charlie. We built a village on the beach, and I got a canoe to make my way to the third island. At this point, however, I was fed up with the constant loading screens and god-awful slowdown. I've about had it with this game, on top of the grindy needs decaying so rapidly in an unrealistic manner, which is common with survival games. Everyone is like hyperglycemic. You eat 15 elephants and still die of hunger. You drink a football stadium worth of water, and your character cries about being thirsty. You take 5 steps, and your character passes out from exhaustion. Typical survival fucking garbage. Game mechanics. Turns out The Sims 2 Castaway was doing everything wrong long before the DayZ survival and zombie craze of 2013 started. At this point, I found my last crewmate, explored a bit of the third island, realized I can't stand this shit game anymore, cheated to get all the resources and plans to only find out nothing good is unlocked. I still need to play through the entire third island and fourth island if I want to beat the game. I think not. I'm done with this game. After hours of frustration, I can't take it anymore. I went in with an open mind and left more angry and closed-minded than a Fox News viewer. At the end of the day, The Sims 2 Castaway is a garbage game that will leave you more angry and agitated than a toddler going through the terrible twos. I wanted to have fun, and I did, for about the first 15 minutes. But like every survival game, it gets old very fast. The mind-numbing grind and unrealistic hunger and other needs to be tended to every other second gets in the way, on top of the clunky controls, the frame rate, the slowdowns, not to mention the non-stop long loading screens. I just cannot tolerate it anymore. My head hurts, my blood pressure's through the roof, because that's how pissed off this game has made me. Time to go play a better game. Hell, even Sims 4 is superior to this trash heap. Enough said. Well, it's time to review the last Sims game for the PlayStation Portable. Sadly, it has to be The Sims 2 Castaway, a game I originally reviewed last November, and boy howdy, did I not have anything nice to say about it at all.
He ain't lying.
That game was god-awful. So awful, I never wanted to review any more console Sims games for a while. But since then, I've played better games, and I'm in the mood to wrap up yet another future compilation. Given this is the PSP, a heavily flawed handheld that could have worked had it not been for the UMD games, all the moving fragile parts inside the PSP, and of course, the single stick issue. But enough about how the PSP was doomed from the get-go. It's time to review The Sims 2 Castaway for PSP to see if it's any different or better than the PS2 version. Spoiler alert, it's not.
Oh, okay.
The Sims 2 Castaway is a survival game. You get in a boat wreck at sea during a horrible storm alongside anyone else you added during Create a Sim. As you explore the island, you uncover more secrets, gather supplies, increase your skills, and find a means of escape. All the while doing literally everything in tiny sectioned off levels, subpar graphics, and tons of technical hiccups. Ah yes, it's just as bad if not worse than the PlayStation 2 version. Great. Just great. To begin, you have to make at least one sim. After that, you can make up to 5 more for a total of 6 sims. Not surprisingly, there's barely any assets to make sims in the first place. Get used to people looking the same.
Yeah, I've heard they all look alike.
There's only a small selection of hairs, facial hairs, and face presets. You cannot sculpt your sims' faces unlike in the PC game. So yeah, at least I made some attempt to make myself, Charlie, Muda, and Zach. Then I added 2 females to make it not such a sausage fest. After all, no homo, right?
I'm gay.
Okay, so besides sussy wussy fat laughing Indian man guy, the rest of us are not sparkles and sunshine. During Create a Sim, you will notice you cannot give your sims any accessories like glasses, hats, or jewelry. You also cannot choose your clothing. That is predetermined based on your gender of male or female, then also depends on your occupation. Yes, your job will determine your outfit, and of course, what starting skill or skills you'll have during your island survival.
Oh, Lord Jesus! Oh, Jesus! Get the water, nigga! Jesus Christ! Lord have mercy! Get the water, nigga! It's going down! Ah, the motherfucking bootleg fireworks shit! Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
So after creating a decent looking Charlie, too bad I can't adjust the height in The Sims.
Do I look like a happy camper to you? Didn't think so.
Making a butler, I mean black friend, so I can't be called a racist.
Ain't nobody want you.
you around. Not even your parents want you. What's wrong with you?
And of course, the balding Hobgoblin King himself, Asmongold, except I couldn't find the right hair. I mean, they all have too much hair still.
Suck a fucking dick. Shut the fuck up.
We set sail for a day on the sea, singing karaoke badly, drinking, and fishing. Then the Fire Nation attacked. Once you begin, the game will ask if you want to participate in a tutorial. Thank God it's optional. I declined since I've already played the PS2 version, but dear God, is the controls just a joke. I get you have to work in with the limitations of a vastly flawed handheld, but god damn son, this shit be a joke. Since the PSP doesn't have a second stick, or even an L2 and R2 respectively, you have to use a combination of buttons to access various things like speed up, speed down, pause, and moving your camera. More on the camera later.
What a load.
It's just a clunky mess, and I'll do my best to explain it. Use the analog stick or C-stick or whatever you want to call it to move around. The X button, it's not cross, damn it. I'll never accept that it's called cross, it's the X button.
Damn straight.
For accept and interact, circle brings up your Sims personal inventory for the shit wipe and bed mat, plus anything like food and tools. Triangle is your cancel button. Square is to bring up your motives and other information. Left shoulder button plus the stick allows you to switch Sims if you have any who joined your group. To do that, I'll explain later on. Then finally, you can use the right shoulder button plus the stick to move your camera around, but only when you're not moving. Then finally, to do things like speed up, slow down, and pause the game, you hold the left shoulder button and press up and down on the D-pad.
It's awful.
Yeah, the controls are a clunky mess, which is to be expected from this console.
Damn right.
As to be expected from the PSP version of all Sims games, you have a vastly limited amount of objects and fire code limitations. You cannot place many objects before random fires begin to occur, and given this is a survival game, that means about another 2 real-world hours till you have enough required resources to build new stuff. Gotta keep making the same shitty-ass mistakes all survival games make, after all. Then again, this came out before the survival craze.
It doesn't matter.
So if you place a single building, even if small, you cannot place another one in that area. You must build another in a new section of the island, or just demolish the current hut for a new one. One piece at a time.
Oh, shit!
Of course, this is such a chore to deal with, just to build a new hut. That essentially is the same thing with the same amount of space or rooms, just a different skin. What a load of bollocks. With any survival game, they get needs wrong. Every time, for some reason, they think all people in survival games are hypoglycemic and narcoleptic. Seriously, any survival game where you have to eat, sleep, you name it, you need to eat way too much and sleep way too much. There's no way this is realistic. It's just a way to pad out the game
and also piss me the fuck off.
Jesus Christ!
In this game, you'll be eating more fish than there are in the ocean. In this game, you'll be sleeping longer than the average human lifespan. In this game, you'll be shitting more in a day than your average elephant does in a year.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Most of your playtime will be trying to not starve to death, trying to get enough sleep so you can harvest resources, or even just explore the islands. And of course, the other various needs like hygiene, entertainment, comfort, environment, crapping yourself, and social.
Is that all?
Which brings me to another issue all survival games suffer from, the needless grinding. You will be harvesting resources for hours just to build a simple tool. It's awful, and I do not like it one bit. Thank God there was some cheats. Too bad there wasn't one for needs. I needed a way to not have to deal with my Sims always starving to death because they haven't eaten a blue marlin in the last 5 fucking seconds.
Oh, it's true.
If you don't use cheats, get used to the game's repetition. hack at a tree for some wood, then eat 30-something fish, then sleep, then crap, then eat 30-something more fish, then crap, then sleep, then eat something more of something 30 fish, then crap, then hack at a tree for more resources again and 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 again. The one pro I can give it is the game loads quickly. As you explore and hit non-stop loading screens, they'll be pretty brief. Too bad The Sims 4 couldn't be like that.
Based.
Another thing you will have to deal with entirely is doing everything alone. The only time anyone did anything to help was putting together a hut once they joined my tribe. That was the only time they did anything to help. Otherwise, the other 5 Sims are just wandering around, not helping you at all unless you designate them to do something. But good luck doing so, because every time you want to interact with a Sim, they wander off or interact with another Sim, so you cannot interact with them. They're purposely avoiding responsibility, leaving me to do all the hard work by myself. Honestly, if I could escape and leave them behind, I would. In order to progress, you have to complete goals. If you do not complete every single one, you cannot get hold of new build mode objects, tools, and the ability to escape. It's just a badly designed game all around. These goals range from spearing a fish, cooking the fish, to befriending a chimp, or somehow knowing how to build things like a home torch or a radio to send out an SOS to escape that way. And the thing is, the goals are too vague. They don't explain nothing, so you have to Google everything if you want to figure things out. Yeah, fuck you too, game. Another issue this game has, along with the entirety of The Sims 2 and The Sims 1 and its spin-offs, is building relationships take forever. I don't have the time nor patience for this bullshit. I need to befriend people, have them join my tribe and escape. But no matter what, even after telling Asmongold over 100 jokes, he still won't join my tribe. It took forever. It took literally almost the entire 4-hour playthrough to finally get everyone to join the damn tribe. Also, don't go expecting to build relationships to bloom into romance. Yes, you can romance Sims still, like any Sims game basically, but it's near impossible as Sims scatter, never wanting to interact with you, and you only earn a dinky amount of friendship points with each interaction, if it's even successful. I just gave up after a while. The only people I could even befriend weren't even people, but chimpanzees. After just about 4 hours of non-stop playing this game, I just wanted to quit and never play it again, but I decided no, I needed to actually complete it. I didn't complete the PS2 version, it's only right I finally do it with this one for PSP. You have a few ways to do so. You can escape by radio SOS, but I never could figure it out. So I settled with the boat ending, which required me to have level 10 body skill just to jump from the top of a waterfall into the lagoon below, which allowed me to swim towards a beach with a spot for a boat schematic. I had the resources and was quick to end the game once and for all. The ending just sucks. It's one of the worst endings in gaming history. Like Rage. Just take a look and let's move on to the other section. music is forgettable, stereotypical island tunes on top of some licensed stuff I won't bother even playing. There wasn't a single memorable tune in the game. Not the main theme, not Create a Sim, not buy mode or build mode, and sure as hell not even in-game. This game was just a painful experience all around. One good thing I can say about this game is the fast load times. In fact, I barely even noticed the loading screens. Then again, when you're just a PS2 game ported to the PSP with worse everything, I guess that just makes sense. The worst loading screens are still any large areas like the Geyser Springs and Pirate Ship for examples. Too bad the game can't play good given it has a major problem.
Oh boy, here we go.
That problem is your camera. It just doesn't want to work right. You're constantly moving it around, just trying to see what's around you. Tons of objects get in the way of seeing anything around you. So if you're in a small area, get ready for non-stop blocking while having to adjust your camera, which will sway around and zoom in and out on its own as you move. So you're always fighting the camera no matter what you do in this game. For the entire playthrough of about 4 hours, it's just not worth it.
You're not worth it.
The game is just the PlayStation 2 version downgraded even more so. Just to work on the PlayStation Portable. This game looks a million times worse than anything else on the PSP with The Sims. The Sims 2 and The Sims 2 Pets on PSP look way better, especially The Sims 2 on PSP. How is that even possible? It's not even a demanding game in comparison to The Sims 2 PSP. You're just exploring tiny sectioned off levels with no activity, nothing to do, and for a while, only one sim to start out with. Too bad the bad graphics don't help with any of the hiccups though.
My eyes!
Yeah, this game has some technical hiccups, from freezing to stutters to slowdown and of course, crashes galore. This game is a technical nightmare on the PSP. I never had this many issues on the PS2 version, but here, you best be ready to deal with non-stop performance and stability problems, while fighting a bad camera and having to grind for hours on end just to get the skills you need and tending to your hypoglycemic needs, where you must do everything yourself just to complete the game. And the worst part was, I was originally going to do this review sooner, but the game crashed before I could save and I lost all my progress of about almost 1 hour of gameplay. And I was just about ready to say, fuck it, I'm not going to make this review whatsoever. But no, you know what? I need to warn people of just how shit this game really is.
I know you told your friend you're not okay.
At the end of the day, The Sims 2 Castaway for PlayStation Portable is a worse version of the PlayStation 2 version. From more technical problems to bad controls, it's just a bad game I cannot recommend. But at least I can say I actually completed this game, unlike on PS2, where I just gave up about halfway through because of all the problems the game has. But still, it was not worth it. This is one of the worst games of the Sims franchise alongside The Herbs, The Sims 4, The Sims 3 for Wii and 3DS, My Sims, and more. I honestly didn't want to even review this game again, but since it was the last Sims game for PSP, I might as well get it over with for yet another compilation in the future. If you actually like this game, good for you. You're probably blinded by nostalgia because you grew up playing this game. I didn't. I missed out, and thank God I did. Though I was sadly exposed to the DS version, sadly.
You poor bastard.
Anyways, I don't know what's coming out next, but whatever it is, let's hope it's actually a good game. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later. After reviewing The Sims 2 Castaway on PS2 in 2023 and PSP in 2024, I decided I might as well review every Sims game on the Wii and eventually all 4 versions of The Sims 2 Castaway altogether. With only the Wii and DS left, it shouldn't be too hard to get through, right? Right? Yeah, well, it kind of can because the Wii version has several problems holding it back, but was rather more enjoyable overall over the PS2 and PSP versions. Not sure if it's because this is my 3rd time playing the same exact game or what, but for whatever reason, I didn't have too much of a bad time with this one. So let's get this one over, shall we?
It's about bloody time.
The concept of this Sims game is you're shipwrecked on an island and now must survive and find rescue, let alone a way to escape the island. Or should I say islands, as this game features 4 islands, one of which is hidden until you solve a basic puzzle. Gather resources to craft, eat, and survive the elements of a tropical island in the middle of nowhere. Severe storms will tear up your shelter, and lightning will strike your furniture, as nothing is truly safe from Mother Nature. Along the way, you'll find your fellow crew if you brought anyone with you, and must band together as a tribe and solve the lore of these islands, eventually figuring out one of 2 ways to escape and end the game. Sounds fun, right? For this entry, I decided to bring everyone back, except instead of 2 females, we brought along a newcomer to these reviews, who's still pretty fresh and has been barely ever used. I'll let you figure out who that is till we get to him. So starting off, like the other versions, this game doesn't have much in the way of create a sim assets. It's lacking in hairs, clothes, and you can't even change the faces up really. Not the eye color or eyebrow color either. So expect everyone to have brown eyes and brown eyebrows at all times. Unless it's hidden somewhere in another menu. Heck, at first I completely overlooked the clothing category till I went back to edit everyone.
Because he's stupid. Duh. He's stupid, so he's gonna think something stupid. It's pretty simple, right? I mean, Duh.
Sadly, I couldn't really make anyone look like their real selves, though my Sim and Charlie were the most accurate, followed by Muda, but poor Zach couldn't have a balding hairstyle.
Suck a fucking dick. Shut the fuck up.
As for the newcomer we brought in, either it's A. Queso, B. Jontron, C. JD Delay, D. Yo Mama, or E. J Schlatt. Enter your answer now. 3, 2, 1. It was 1999.
We're not sure if we're going to use this for ice cream, but we got some peanut butter today, and what happened to this peanut butter?
Again, because of the lack of customization, nobody really looks on par with their real selves. Mostly. But hey, enough negativity. For now. I mean, if you're not new around here, you know I'm not all sunshine and rainbows. I leave that fruity shit to the corpo shills like Lil Simsy, Alana Pierce, Young Yeah, Jesse Cox, ACG, Skill Up, and the Act Man to sell you products that they were paid to tell you are good, even when they're not. So I'm always honest with how I feel about games, and always will be. Never afraid to express them, even when I got nothing but flack from fanboys because of it.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Anyways, let's go on a boat trip and begin our nightmare. Welcome aboard the SS Balding.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Tama Moist Critical is balding.
Fuck you guys up.
Who wants to sing?
Oh God, please no.
You smell like dust. Your armpits are home to new types of moss.
What the fuck, dude?
Hey, let's go fishing.
Someone needs to steer the boat.
Hey, SHLADT, you drive the boat, okay?
Oh God, who let Schlatt drive?
Man overboard.
Right away, the game begins with your tutorial island as you get to know of all the mechanics and controls. It's literally the PS2 and PSP game, but now you're forced to use a Wiimote and nunchuck. You cannot, for the love of God, use a classic controller or GameCube controller. Oh, no. You're forced to play motion-based only in every single Sims Wii game. What the actual fuck? It's just so clunky to deal with. I hate this setup. The Wiimote is used to confirm and point things around. The nunchuck is to move your sim and use the other buttons to speed up and whatnot. I just can't get used to this setup. Why? Why can't we just have a normal controller option? Fucking Nintendo Wii.
Yep.
Having to use the cursor to navigate menus is not that responsive, and you can easily select the wrong menu. But one thing I did notice right away about the Wii version, in comparison to the PS2 and PSP, is the load times and responsiveness to menu navigation was a lot better. Yet in turn, this game looks way worse. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Gathering resources is required to get anywhere. Need a shelter? Get some vines, leaves, and wood. Need a fire pit? Get some crap of whatever it needs. Need food? Climb trees and spear fish till you get stuff. Yet every time you do anything, when you gather, your needs decay so rapidly. So you'll be dealing with those along the way. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. Yep, just what I like in my games. Each resource deposit appears to take roughly a day or so, or a single loading screen from back to the area for it to respawn. Some resources give you loads of stuff, while others not so much, because of course there's the rare resources you need for the best of stuff, like obsidian spears, knives, and axes. As for crafting, you must get a workbench of some kind. Each one has a different level and what you can make at them, but only non-furniture and shelter stuff can be crafted here, so tools, other leisure goods, and clothing are made at these benches. At first, your only bench is, well, you can see it's nothing good. As such, your only available stuff is the lowest grade. So get to improving your mechanical skill and make more stuff. Build shelters and gather more resources. Everything you do will build your skill set to make things easier in the end. Plus, you need to have a certain skill level in order to just explore the island and progress the story. Well, there's no story, but you get the idea. Want to beat the game? Want to get the best spots to build and gather resources? Get good, son. Build up that body and mechanical skill. Building relationships takes forever, especially because this game lacks social interactions. It's basically talk, argue, romantic hugs, serenade, propose, marriage, etc. Oh, and you can't woohoo, so there's no reason to really build relationships. You just need to if you want to get people to join your tribe, and in turn, they do nothing to help you. The chimpanzees are way more useful than your crew will ever be.
Hi, I'm Paul.
And all they want is a banana and a hug.
Yeah, we can teach him sign language, and he can tell us stories about what you two did on the island together.
No. Let's not bring the monkey.
Exploration, much like on PlayStation 2 and Portable, remains the same and in turn is rather boring. Each area is tiny, linear, and features the same old stuff with barely anything being different between them, making exploration not really rewarding. I mean, I shoved my head into a door with a crown to unlock it. I can't remember if I did this on the PSP or PS2, so this was exciting to see a new area. But it was just a door that led outside of a temple, with every resource I could gather elsewhere. So yeah, I was disappointed in that. But hey, I finally completed the quicksand puzzle. Alright, that was during the failed recording because Nvidia Shadowplay fucking sucks. Fuck you, Nvidia. I'm getting closer to going AMD at this rate. I already got their CPU after bailing on Intel. Now you're enticing me to get their GPUs as well. The grind is real, and it sucks. You need to gather so much stuff just to make the tiniest of things. Your needs decay so rapidly. You might as well break the disc in half, as it would be more pleasant than tending to your needs. It's like you're playing a narcoleptic, hypoglycemic, 128-year-old chain smoker with the bladder of a newborn. You're always dealing with energy, bladder, hunger, social fun, and more. I hate it. All this stuff just gets in the way. If The Sims 2 Castaway got rid of majority of these, or all together, nobody would care, and it would have been a much more fun game in turn. If your crew wasn't so useless, I'd actually have more fun, but all they do is talk, abuse the hot springs, and make so much food it mostly goes to waste. Not to mention all the fires they start because of it, like holy shit. Most of my time was putting out fires because they left empty bowls lying around the campfires. Hell, Schleit himself burned down one of my huts by setting up a fire pit within it. I don't remember doing that. Plus, the recording didn't save. Fuck you, Nvidia Shadowplay. Fuck you. The music is so generic and just okay. If you want a generic, play it safe, boring tropical island playlist, this is it. It's nothing iconic or unique, just drums, maracas, and all that jazz. Honestly, I'd sooner recommend you disable it altogether so you're not hearing the same song over and 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 over again. Much like the PSP and PS2, the Wii version is plagued with technical problems, from slowdown to freezing to even graphical glitches where textures flicker all the time, which is very prominent in the most prosperous place to build a shelter at, with the hot springs and everything right outside the temple. Yet, for some reason, it was also less of an issue than PS2 and the worst offender, PSP. Go figure. While all three have problems, Nintendo Wii was the best overall experience performance-wise. How is that even possible? The Wii was an underpowered disaster, but it is what it is.
You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. There it is.
When it comes to actually finishing this horrible game, just like the PS2 and PSP, you got two options, or at least you should, but for me, for some reason, the boat ending glitched out and wouldn't let me build the craft. So I had to go with the ending 2, where you build a radio with a transmitter, sending out an SOS. Either way, both endings are the same. The only difference is the first few screenshots. At the end of the day, I can barely recommend the Sims 2 Castaway. It's just the PS2 and PSP version with motion-based controls that are incredibly clunky. Not to mention all the gameplay issues, and there's glitches that stop you from progressing, let alone escaping the island if you're not careful. The AI isn't that good, and your crew won't do anything to really help. Just mooch. The game is just a mess as per usual, but unlike the PS2 and PSP version, it's just slightly more enjoyable to play for some reason. I'll just recommend this version of the three, and as for the DS version, well, I had to cancel that review, as I need original hardware to use its tacky gimmicks like microphone blowing to start campfires. Fuck that. Oh well, at least we still have 2 more Sims games for the Wii to look at. Not counting My Sims because it was its own series. So someday we'll look at the Sims 2 Pets for Wii and the Sims 3 for Wii. Till then anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
Sugi, my God.